Hey guys, and welcome to some more Star Citizen. I've recently talked about character progression in Star Citizen and how Star Citizen has no skill numbers or levels, but money, assets, and reputation are factors that will kind of judge your progression in game. Today, I kind of want to talk more deeply into the economy aspect of Star Citizen, but focusing on 3.0 Alpha, as this is going to be the first tangible test of Star Citizen's economy, although in its infancy, it is where the rest of the economy in the future will evolve from. And I just want to talk about some important aspects of the economy that's being built on and the stuff that we know now. So dynamic economy tools. The economy needs various things to buy, ways to make money, ways to lose money, and general costs, risk, reward. Quite a bit of balancing, really, to work correctly. Now, components and how much things are, there are some tools that CIG will be using to generate dynamically based on time to time how much a particular component is worth, how much a ship is worth, that sort of stuff. Price Fixer is a very important one of these tools to the economy in Star Citizen and is planned to be in obviously 3.0. It takes varying gameplay aspects into account to generate value for items and components. These values will help to inform final in-game pricing for items and ships, but also should help for 3.0, obviously. It generates in-game values based on the characteristics of a component and costs for all of the ships to inform their pricing in the persistent universe, basically. So it will take how much is this particular component worth that is used to create this weapon, and it will work it all out together and go, this weapon is worth this amount of money at a given time from a shop. Trade Slayer. So Trade Slayer is part of this as well, really. It is the end-to-end economic model of how an item gets created, from mining the commodities, being refined, manufactured, and then finally placed on a store shelf. Whereas Price Fixer concerns itself with the costs in-game, Trade Slayer looks at the times, availability, and process that goes into the item creation as well. Trade Slayer is most likely to be used to work out how long it would take to produce an item or ship in a given area of space. So, for example, it could take 14 days to replace your Idris because of material shortages or whatever. These tools are going to be incredibly important in the future and will enable CIG for Star Citizen to see how their economy is working. Is it something they need to tweak? Do they need other tools in there as well? And they'll be grabbing metrics and that sort of stuff from them. Commodities. So, there are commodities that are going to be in 3.0. They're producing a list. I'm not entirely sure exactly what we're going to see commodities-wise, but it will include materials that are used to create items and that Trade Slayer and Price Fixer will be using to drive the economy. Expect steel, CPUs, manufactured components, stuff like that, but also some basic simple things, water, foodstuffs, that sort of stuff as well. I think there are between 10 and 12 commodities that they currently want to put in 3.0. Cargo. So obviously this is part of the commodities stuff. We're going to have the first iteration of cargo, trade, and selling in 3.0. So 3.0 will have the ability to pick up a box, take a box to your ship, and then take that box to market. This could also be items that you find on missions, scavenge, or steal from other people's ships. It will also have the ability to buy and sell cargo on planets and stations. The cargo bought at planets and stations will spawn on your ship. Obviously, this is the first iteration, and not as it's intended in the future. So anything you sell, whether it be a box or cargo, will be sold directly out of your ship and basically get spawned out of your ship when you sell it. And different stations, different planets will have different prices for all these materials, hence trading. You go one place, buy cheap, sell high, is the idea. In the future, the idea is to have the cargo loaded and unloaded onto your ship rather than for it to spawn in and out. That will add lots of different things to it. There might be fees to unload it, it might take a certain amount of time, and that sort of stuff. Cargo haulers mean pirates and bounty hunters. With players moving valuable cargo around, other players will want to snatch it up for themselves. In response, players may hire bodyguards or escorts. Bounties might get placed on NPCs and players' heads, so bounty hunters will come after them. In some cases, pirates will want to board ships to secure cargo to not risk blowing it up. Trade routes will be created by NPCs and players moving cargo. That's basically based on the commodities. You buy low, sell high. That would literally create trade routes because people will go, well, I'm going to move from here to here because this is a prime way of making money. But this will also be prime spots for attacks from pirates. but also prime spots to defend from security. This risk-reward, potential gain, spending money on cargo, protection, or being a pirate will all help drive the economy and give that sense of risk-reward and achievement. Shopping. Obviously, this is something that you need in 3.0, a greater shopping experience, because you need ways of spending that money. There's going to be various commodities, as I said earlier, to buy, like steel or manufactured parts, CPUs, purchasable cargo. Shopping kiosks will allow you to purchase larger items that might not necessarily fit in shops. At the moment, we're able to go into a shop in 2.6 and look at a gun and go, I want to buy this gun. But obviously, there are some cases where that's not appropriate if you're buying a large ship or you're buying a giant case of steel or something. With some purchases, you will have the choice of delivery to your hangar or to your ship. My expectation as well is that we will be able to buy ships, components and weapons in addition to more clothing and FPS items that we currently have, all purchasable with Alpha UEC, which should remain the currency most likely until launch or until Star Citizen goes into a beta. Although this sort of stuff does change all the time, as with everything we're discussing. Could change at any point, could evolve at any point, could become completely different. We will continue to see restocking ammo, fuel and repairing damage, but expect to see some further iterations of that and further iterations and evolution of replacing ships and insurance, because they will probably need to do something to help drive the economy there. There are also going to be more missions in 3.0 and more replayability to missions. They are generating them in-game algorithmically, so that they will be in different places, have different enemies, different outcomes, different choices. But this would also mean that we get random valuable loot by searching mission areas. One of the things you can do in 3.0 is grab boxes, grab certain loot and take it to your ship. So there are very likely to be expensive, rare valuables dotted around the verse, but also in certain mission areas and stuff that will help drive players to want to do missions and to explore and to salvage and to scavenge. And it is a good way of driving the economy and gaining Alpha UEC. So, some other expectations and notes which don't really fall into other categories. The ability to give other players Alpha UEC should be in 3.0, I believe. It makes sense if you want to hire players to escort you, but also share Alpha UEC with your crew in larger ships, or if you've, as a group, completed a mission or a cargo run together, you need ways of being able to give that to players. Go, here's some money. Even it might be setting contracts, but I suspect it'll be a very simple have some money. In the future, you will be able to store and hoard resources by renting hangars and storage spaces. I think that's unlikely in 3.0, though. It's very likely to be you just kind of have the space on your ship. In 3.0, players will encounter AI ships in space, and they will be effectively encounters, and you'll be able to do more of them, you'll be able to board them, you'll be able to attack them, that sort of stuff. So it's not just going to be players attacking you during missions and cargo runs. There are going to be AI that are kind of turn up and do stuff. Just more encounters in general. CIG is in control of that economy. You can't really break their economy. There are supposed to be 9 NPCs to every 1 player, but they're in control of it. If they see people doing things that are super clever, tricksy hobbit clever, and they can prevent that from happening, or they have a much greater hold of it. They don't want the economy to be broken, basically, is the idea. But you will certainly be able to benefit from being clever financially in game, but you won't be able to break the economy or grind it to an entire halt, because you're only representative of a very small fraction of living creatures in this verse. And the future of the economy. So 3.0's economy is the first iteration and test of a lot of things, bringing a greater shopping experience to players, but also ways to make currency, lose currency, reasons to play together, playing various missions, and a way of simulating that economy. Lots of it will change based on our feedback and its practicality of that first iteration. So it also will evolve more as AI subsumption, missions, and the God AI grow, as well as the shopping experience becomes more fleshed out. I'm very experienced to get some tangible gameplay with 3.0, and the economy is a significant portion of that. I want to buy cool stuff. I want to buy a railgun. I want to buy ships. I want reasons to go on missions and go, well, I don't want to spend just a day playing that game and me to have everything. There needs to be tangible gameplay and stuff to actually work up to, even with just 3.0 coming out in its first iteration. But anyway, guys, tell me what you think. What do you expect to be able to purchase in 3.0? What do you expect the economy to be like? Do you think I've missed out anything? I'll put the commodities list in as soon as I know it as well. I suspect we'll see that very soon. Please tell me what you think. Remember that commenting on any of our Star Citizen content during a given month gives you a chance to win a ship for the month of January 2017. That is an Avenger Titan, so please comment below. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, because it genuinely does help me, and I will see you in the verse.